Hi YouTube, another very quick review today. I'll show you close-ups in a second. This is an active USB extender cable. I'll explain why that's important in a moment. So let me show you some close-ups of this. Very cheap, very quick delivery from eBay again. So let's have a look at it. Okay, you'll have to excuse the mess. This is my working area. So this is, let me open this. This is what's called an active USB extender cable. I'll tell you why that's important in a second, but let me start with the price. This was £4.99, which is about $7.50, $8 for our American friends. We have the standard USB jack here, and this rather larger USB socket here. And this is the bit that makes it the active repeater. USB 2, not 3, and there's 5 meters of cable there, which is considerable. Now, when you're using a USB cable, some devices need you to use a short cable so that the signal is transferred fully, really. And if you have a longer cable, some of the signal can be lost in the journey. Now, one of the things I want to do is plug in my Nikon D5100 to a laptop so that I can see on screen what I'm recording, and there are benefits for doing that. But when I use a normal cable, because I did buy a 5 meter cable from eBay, just a basic cable, it doesn't work. The signal drops off and the information isn't transferred across that kind of distance. So I've ended up getting this, as I say, an active repeater cable. Very neat, as you can see. I mean, great, nicely shielded, good, fairly thick plastic coating, so the cable itself is protected. There seems to be some kind of twisted metal shielding there, so it should be quite strong. But the main point is, and this is the second one I've bought because I've got another application in mind now, this will transfer the signal across the full 15 feet or 16 feet or 5 meters, and it can be useful for that kind of application. So if you have a DSLR, for example, that you want to plug into your laptop to use one of the various utilities that you can use, for example with the Canon, they have the Canon EOS utility where you can see on screen exactly what the settings are on the camera, and then you can change them. But you're limited to the length of your USB cable. Now, it may be if you're doing a setup for yourself, you want the laptop near to you so that you control the camera, focus correctly, set the exposure, the white balance and so on. But you can't really do that and set up the camera in the right place if you've only got a normal 12-inch USB cable. So something like this with the active repeater enables you to put the camera up to 5 meters away so that it's positioned where you want it, and then you can have the laptop next to you if you wish, and you can control the camera from a distance. I know some people use that kind of a setup so that they don't disturb wildlife if they're taking photos of birds, for example, and you can leave the camera, well, in your back garden. I wouldn't leave it somewhere public, but you know, for safety. But you can leave the camera out there, then come away, you're 16 feet away, and control the camera directly from your laptop using this cable and the Canon EOS utility. Now, there isn't a similar utility for Nikon that's free. You can buy one, but it's quite expensive, I believe, or you can use one of the third-party apps that's available. So Fort Built, I'll put links in the bottom, gives you a free application to control the Nikon cameras, or some of them anyway. So you can do it on the cheap if you're using a Nikon camera, but Canon actually provide you with the utility, which is very, very powerful actually. But you do need this, as I say, active repeater section to boost the signal. And you can think of it as a little bit like an aerial signal booster, which some people use if they're splitting a TV signal into several rooms in their house, or if they get poor reception, that kind of a thing. It just boosts the signal so that by the time it comes out at this end, this is plugged into your laptop or computer, by the time it comes out to this end, the signal is still as strong as when it started. And it's not a problem for every device. Certainly I've found it to be a problem with DSLRs, which is why I needed this special cable. But certain things don't require much power, so it's not an issue for the, let me just get rid of that. So it's not an issue for every device, but if you need one at this price, it's a bargain. Okay, see you again.